All right. So we're going to be checking out this video right here by Side Scrollers. I know I covered one of their videos a little while back in regards to something related to Mortal Kombat. And today we're going to be looking at their video called what the F happened to Mortal Kombat's women. Let's check it out.
Like the video game industry a lot on this show. This is from Haley over on X, and she's pointing out something about Mortal Kombat, specifically to Ed Boon. Now, Ed Boon is one of the creators of Mortal Kombat way back in the early 90s. And Haley has a simple question for Ed. She says, what happened to Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon? Did a council of cat moms take over the art direction? The women of Mortal Kombat used to crush spines and drop jaws. Now they look like old, miserable bitches who survived 3 divorces. It's not a bad...
Oh, it's so true, it hurts.
look. It's a fatality to style. By the way, this whole thing kind of sounds AI written, but that's it. Anyways, hot, sexy, powerful, fierce babes with a huge draw. We're a huge draw to Mortal Kombat. They help define the franchise, brought unforgettable energy to the roster, and inspired waves of cosplay, fan art, and fanfic. That bold, unfiltered presence was baked into Mortal Kombat's DNA. Now Mortal Kombat has become one of the clearest examples of the growing trend of female uglification in modern games. Style and allure tossed aside, replaced with designs that feel allergic to charisma. Just tragic.
Wow.
And let me kind of show you exactly what she's speaking about. This is from the Mortal Kombat reboot several years ago. I think this was 2009 right here. You can see kind of how the characters look here, specifically Melina over here.
So obviously Ashra, Tanya were not playable, or Lee May, like they weren't like playable in the reboot. So he's kind of wrong there. I'd have to play through the story again to see if they even showed up at all. I don't remember them showing up. So what they've done here is they've basically taken like even the 3D era characters as well as MK10 and added it in there into MK like 9, like the other 3 from MK9. Interestingly enough though, is that like, you know, technically like Tanya's outfit was, yeah, it was kind of great actually, to be honest. It had that awesome sexy Cleopatra look. Obviously Lee May's, I mean, her children aren't going hungry. You know what I'm saying, right? Her babies are going to be well fed. Same with Ashra, right? This is kind of the design perspective of how they used to be.
Here, Katana. I think some of these were actually before Mortal Kombat. They're using the Mortal Kombat 9 logo here. So you can see skimpy outfits, curvatures, sexy look here. And this is how Mortal Kombat looks today. Any thoughts?
Asmongold is right. It's literally Mortal Kombat, the view.
Thoughts on those, ladies?
Totally missing the mark of the iconic characters and their outfits and the way that they look from years past.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they've made these changes? Do you think there's a bigger agenda here, Mally, than just the idea of they want to hit a modern audience? Or are they just going for more realistic? Well, why do you think that is?
I mean, I feel like we've said it before here too, but it's like ugly bitches don't want to feel alone. I don't know how else to put it.
It's like that meme, right? The meme, which is real life, which is the, you know, like the guy walks up to the chick he's interested in, and then the giant fat friend gets in the way, right? And so she's not interested, right?
Like, I'm sorry, but everyone, whether you're ugly or you're pretty, you want to look at a pretty character. And if you're gonna hire people who are miserable in their lives, hate video games, hate themselves, hate their lives, they're gonna produce misery. You're gonna do that no matter what fucking field you're in. So if you're trying to make video games, which are supposed to bring millions of people joy, you're certainly not doing that. And I can't help but notice there is not a single like white woman in the lineup, whereas there is several in the top.
Whoa, calm. Whoa. Can't. What, we can say that now? We can. Oh, okay. We can say that it's 2025. All right. Things are healing. All right. You can say that. Continue.
I don't know. I'm just.
I gotta be honest.
observe-
Didn't even like even think about it.
So just I want to just add something here, right? Like, obviously, yeah. Like, obviously they've done like, well, Sonya's in there, but Sonya's on the bitch bench, right? Right. So I'm just thinking of the roster. Is there anyone white in the female on the main roster? I can't remember. I honestly, my brain is having a shit fart of it right now, because they literally race swapped like Kitana, Melina, and Sindel to be Asian looking. One of the reasons why I have this particular issue with the race swaps is because they tried to mimic Outworld with parts, like they tried to mimic Earth in parts of Outworld, right? Why would there be Asian people in Outworld, right? One of the things I really loved about Talisa Soto's, version of Kitana, as well as previous versions of Kitana, is that there was an exotic feel, but you couldn't quite place it, right? You could, maybe Mediterranean, perhaps, maybe Middle Eastern, Persian, whatever, maybe, but you could never fully nail it, right? Because the outfits never lent themselves to going, this it's from this part of the world. It has to be from this part of the world. Right, the outfits were completely non-earthen to a degree, right? Right. So therefore, I think Talisa was perfect. I think it's been the best on-screen Kitana we've ever seen. Even the Kitana Melina Sindel that they had in the TV, like the web series that they brought out, was pretty great too. And I can see why they would start to lean in an Asian way because of the names, how they sound. But it's not accurate. Outworld is a completely alien realm, okay? To have, like, these people more exotic looking rather than, like, race, like, we got them on lock now. They've got to be Asian. They've got to be Chinese. They've got to be this. They've got to be that, right? It leaves up that ambiguity of, where are they coming from? And what's really like tragic about this particular picture too is that they literally mimicked Tanya after Marvel Phase 4. They did the Wakanda thing, right? And I know some people will say that's racist, but it's not racist. A, Wakanda isn't real. B, what was wrong with how Tanya looked in MK10, right? They gave her a Cleopatra style, right? Which you could then argue, could she be Egyptian? But she's still holding to that Mediterranean skin tone. I've always thought, or say Southern American, like Brazilian. I've always loved that particular style of skin tone for the Outworld ladies because it seems to fit this exotic, faraway land appeal that we're sort of seeing here, but we're not really, right? I don't know. I'm probably not explaining it right. So you can see there the vast differences between even Tanya. They went from this very sexy Cleopatra look, to whatever that is.
That's crazy.
Couldn't help but notice once we got there. I was like, oh.
And these and they did it with the same too. Like now, I know some people. There's two sides I agree with here. Obviously, like the demons with Ashra, Serena, and stuff like that are looking human-like. That's how they seduce you. You ain't being seduced by that. She's not ugly. She's not ugly for a demon-looking character, but she's not what they were supposed to be, right? Obviously, with Melina, it's been a bit of a change. They also turned her into basically a drug user with constantly jabbing up, right? Look at Sindel. Like, Sindel was just... Now, I didn't like the retcon that they did in MK11. So that Sindel that you can see there is obviously from MK9, where she just obliterated everyone. It was just fantastic. Same with Kitana. You can see with Kitana, and then of course Lee May. And yeah, it's basically looking at a roster of the view.
Oh.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the cool part about Mortal Kombat and the way that the older generations of the way that these women characters looked was that, to Mally's point, yes, as a girl playing in those characters, you feel badass, but also the characters are badass, and guys also like to play with those characters because they're fun to look at.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna have to stare at a character for 18 hours in order to beat this game, I want to like what I'm looking at.
Yeah, like this whole argument about the only thing that matters is gameplay is such bullshit, right? They are selling a product. The product has got to have an appeal. It's got to have a certain mass appeal, right? Therefore, everything matters. Everything from the starting up, of the intro logos, to the menu, to the sound effects, to the music, to the character designs, to how they move in the game, to their finishing moves, to the story, all of it, the stages they fight, all of it matters. All of it. It's always mattered, right? And you'll get people out there that will try and gaslight you into saying the only thing that matters is really the gameplay. But what gets you into the gameplay? Right? Unless you're unless you're a very sort of like technical person, you really don't care about how the characters look. You don't really care about how the game looks or anything like that. You just care about the technical nuance of the game. Fair enough. I'll give you that point. I'll concede that point. But most people aren't like that. Most people, like human beings, we are given these for a reason. We need these, right? And we are given our eyesight because we find things attractive or not. That's why, we might find somebody attractive over here. Some other person might go, dude, that looks like a dog's breakfast. It's like, yeah, but she's hot. And it's like, yeah, but it looks like a dog. Shut up, right? That's what I'm saying. We all have our own opinions of what we find attractive, but there is also a general consensus. And because video games lean into the power fantasy of things, the guys are big and buff and the chicks are, right? That's part of the power fantasy, right? And you get these companies and everything try so hard to try and remove this to this stale, vapid, just middle-aged slop that nobody finds attractive, right? But you get all the beta orbiters defend it, all the soy boys and stuff. They all defend it. Why? Right? Because they think that if they do, they'll get someone. It's as basic as they can make it. They defend this slop because they think they'll look good in front of the eyes of the women. But they're not being exploited. I'll tell you why these women aren't being exploited.
Break it down.
They're not real. Just so we're clear, like these women in the video games, they're not real, right? They're not real. And you'll have some person on the internet go, but they're done by a real person in real life, right? And it's like, no, stop, put the drugs down, right? They are doing the motion capture or maybe the facial capture, but the in-game character, if you never knew that person, you're only going off by what's in game. But that's how they try and get you. That's how they try and tie you down and go, see, you're a horrible person. If you're criticizing this in-game character, you're criticizing the person in real life. And I know some crazy people have done that stuff, and that's not right. But most people don't do that. Most people just buy the game, load it up, and go, ooh, or go, and pretty much it.
Whether it's a strong, badass male character or a strong, badass female character, I don't care.
Blabs, how do you feel about that? I'm sorry to gender you, but as a female.
I mean, I identify as a pinecone. However, if I was a woman, I would absolutely be annoyed with this, to be honest. It's just, they look...
I just this is completely off topic, but you ever notice, like, when somebody says something, you can still feel it in your hands? Like a pine cone? I can feel what a pine cone feels like. As soon as you have a pine cone, I can feel the pine cone in my hand. I can feel, like, how prickly and shit... Anyway, fuck it, move on.
Ugly. There's no, like, upgrade in any of them from the previous to now. They don't look appealing in any way. Can you pull that back up? Look at all the facial expressions of the top, and then look at the ones at the bottom, and they're all super bland, like all pissed off and frustrated. It's all the same expression. So like when the old one actually used to.
This is literally like POV. You're giving the male gaze, and this is their reaction.
Wait.
diversity, and if you think about it, with all their expressions, the way their costumes looked and everything, and now it's just everyone's covered up and everyone's pissy and ugly. Like, congratulations, you fucked them over.
I mean, they're not even colorful outfits either. I
No,
just
they're very
realized
bland.
Very bland.
Very
Oval.
dull.
They all
Maybe
look the same.
you know, Blabs, we saw JoJo Siwa recently, and JoJo Siwa, well, you know, she was talking about how she was kind of forced into being gay. She felt pressured into being gay, and all of a sudden she
I didn't know
found dick,
that.
and then she was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm straight again."
Girls
right?
need dick then to get fixed up.
That's my thought here. I feel like all these women, all these characters, they feel like they just need to find a man and settle down. And
I mean, yeah, that girl nailed it. They do look like they've survived 3 divorces, and they all like just do the all men suck kind of mentality. Like,
well,
that's
I don't
who
know.
they're designed by, so it makes sense why they look like that.
Well, the latest
Never hire activists. Ever. They just ruin everything. An activist job, they never want their job to end. You know why? Because if you achieve your objective as an activist, guess what? You don't get any more money. No more employment. You've achieved the objective. So you constantly have to look for new ways to make out that these things are bad. And before, like, Twitter was sort of basically opened and free, it was getting to a point where almost like no return. We're starting to see return now, but yeah, we're taking it back, you know, foot by foot.
The latest Mortal Kombat has not done very well. It hasn't performed as well as they hoped it would, and a lot of people have talked about the character design is a big reason, big part of it. I've said this on the show many times. When you look at the way a game looks, the way a game feels, screenshots of it, that's like your initial impression. And if it doesn't look appealing to you, then you don't want to watch it or you don't want to play it. This goes back to the gameplay argument. I hate this thing because, like, in order for you to get interested in a product, it has got to be appealing to you visually. I don't care who you are. Otherwise, we wouldn't be making anything that would create any sort of visual stimuli for us to be interested in. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Even maybe this isn't the best example. When you go to the shop and you're buying fruit or vegetables, right? And you're looking at like lettuce, and you got some lettuce that looks like they've been gone 5 rounds with Tyson, and another lettuce over here that looks great. Even God realized visually that we are going to pick the one that looks healthier and less destroyed, right? Like even in nature, right? The breakdown of something, right, looks less appealing. So we always gravitate to the other thing. Why? Because it's healthier. It's actually healthier, right? And it may not be the best example. I just kind of, you know, I have no hair. Ideas just flooding out, you know, just let's go. I want to check it out. And yeah, as you said, Mally, I think you said at the beginning, the idea that people like to play attractive people. They like to see attractive people, which is why I want to point out one more time that Jake Gyllenhaal's abs in Roadhouse are just absolutely spectacular. And everybody should go see the Roadhouse movie, despite it being a horrible movie. I mean, my God, look at those fake abs.
You know, pull that picture back up of Jake.
Uh-huh.
Okay, look at the lady behind him. Like, that's Craig. She's
No,
like, oh my God, look at that.
no. She looks pissed.
No,
She's
no,
mad.
I think she wants.
She wants that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want those abs. Yeah, I do. It's funny because I was actually the internet tells me that Jake Gyllenhaal's abs for Roadhouse were the result of a rigorous training regimen and a strict diet. He worked with a longtime trainer for over a year to achieve his physique, dropping from 205 pounds to 184 pounds and reaching a body fat percentage of 5%.
Whoa.
Jeez. Ridiculous.
5%?
Yeah, that's not even...
Dude
like,
was shredded.
Yeah. Like at 12%, you start seeing at 10, 11, 12%, you start seeing the abs. But, man, anyways. So, Mortal Kombat, huh? Hey, get on that, Ed Boon. How about you be a little better when it comes to... Yeah.
Do better.
Speaking of Mortal Kombat, let's go to its chief competitor here, as the new Street Fighter movie has been getting cast over the last 3 months or so. We've been taking a look at all the different people that have been cast in
I'm
it.
I'm very interested about how the Street Fighter movie is going to be. Very interested because they've tried some live adaptations before. And yeah, I'm just very interested how this is going to
Jason
go.
Momoa has been cast in the Street Fighter movie. Roman Reigns, the WWE wrestler, is going to be cast in it. And they have casted Chun-Li. And this lady, Kalina Liang, has been cast as Chun-Li. Here she is, ladies. No, I'm just kidding. Here she is. I think she's pulling it off pretty good right here.
That's a good casting.
That is a good casting right there. Don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's, as I said, the first thing you see when you see a trailer, see a game, see whatever is how people look. And Street Fighter doesn't have many very ugly people in it. So it's cool to see them actually taking Chun-Li and kind of seriously. You wonder if she'll have big old thunder thighs like Chun-Li does. So, Mally, you got anything on that? Good casting, bad casting? Do you have?
No,
I mean, listen, I don't want to get squished by thunder thighs. Well, maybe, I don't know. It depends. We'll have that conversation another day.
Right, I don't even know enough about it to like know, much on how it would work. But just looks wise, she looks like she fits the part, and that's what casting on these things should be. It's very looks based.
Just a quick glance. Kalina Liang is born in the year 2000, a Canadian actress. She was in Steven Soderbergh's Presence right there. I don't even know who this person is, if I'm being told. I've never heard of this
Craig's
person.
like, let me see her legs.
Yeah, Blabs. She's playing Chun-Li. Why would I not?
Thighs. They save lives.
Blabs, if you're playing Chun-Li, you
Well,
have
yeah, I
big
understand
thighs.
that. you're literally asking to see her legs.
Well, if you're casting for Chun-Li, wouldn't you want to see someone?
Yes.
Wouldn't you want to see her legs? Yeah, I'm just saying. I think
I'm
it's,
not shitting on you.
Okay,
You know, this
all
is
right.
the one time I agree with you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the one time. Look at her big old thighs. She got big old
Right?
legs. Just saying, this is literally what she. Okay, that lady. There we go. Anyway, sorry YouTube. And
Damn. Yeah, so going back to this, yeah, this is just middle-aged meltdown. Everyone goes through it. But, like, we don't want to pay for it. Right? Can you not monetize, right, midlife crisis, I need no man type shit? Can we not monetize that, please, anymore? It doesn't sell. It never sells, right? It's a complete joke. Okay. And with the announcement of Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, it is amazing how excited I am to be able to play these classic MK games in an official capacity outside of emulation. And I don't really care what NetherRealm bring out in the future. If they keep bringing out classic MK games in collections, I'll be perfectly happy. I don't care about anything anymore about what they do. That's how much they've damaged the brand. As a Mortal Kombat fan, that's how much they've damaged the brand. Right? Anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Catch you next time.